My name is Dorit. I'm originally from Denmark, but now I live in Pennsylvania, USA. I'm a mom and a wife, and God and Jesus has guided me a lot. When I look back, I see it depended on me. Did I choose God's way or did I choose Satan's way? So God's grace is amazing. Jesus was crucified for my sins. I'm a sinner. I committed the worst sins in my youth and lived in hell, especially around that time. But God still led me back to Jesus and later to True Parent, Some Young Moon, and I'm starting God's kingdom in my family. I was born on a farm and my parents worked very hard. They were Lutherans because most Danes are Lutherans. This is a state church, so you don't tithe and you don't have so much say. You pay 1% of your taxes to the church. So the state controls the church in many ways. Mostly old people go to church. So when I joined Unification Church, I was excommunicated actually from the Lutheran Church. I was too active of a Christian, going house to house, sharing about Jesus Christ, sharing about the second coming of Christ and marriage. I was the oldest, and I had a younger brother who died when he was a year and a half, and I was only 3. We were playing, we were running around the farm, and we ran right out in front of the milk truck that came to pick up the milk every day at the farm. And it hit my brother, and he died instantly. The driver was totally out of it, and later he started drinking and became an alcoholic, and his life was hell. My mom was so sad too, but she said, "We do not know what is God's will." I asked, "Where does he go?" And my aunt said, "To paradise. The angels will come and pick him up in a helicopter. Don't worry, he'll be fine." So God saved my life. I could have been the one who died. My parents never accused me of not taking care of my younger brother and not letting him run out in front of the truck and causing his death. Later, when I was 7, my sister died of leukemia, which she got after a polio vaccination. She was battling the cancer for a year, and this was very hard on my mom. This makes me seriously question vaccinations. Look at Hannah Kroger's article about her daughter after she got vaccinated with polio. The story of Lisa, part of Hannah's inspiration to greatness. Hannah is like a naturopath, and she's helping many people through natural healing. She's not alive anymore, but she used to live in Denver, Colorado. Lisa was the youngest of Hannah and Rudolph's children. She was a very bright little girl who loved school, hiking, and playing games. In her 9th year, the Salk polio vaccine came out, and all children were required to be vaccinated. She was eager not to miss school and gleefully went to the doctor with Hannah to get the shot. It took less than 72 hours before she started going into convulsions. Convulsions that came every few hours for several days, and then stopped for 3 to 6 weeks and started again. All types of medical tests were done and drugs were ingested, all without success. Soon Hannah and Rudolph has seen all likely professionals in Boulder and Denver and expanded their service worldwide. They tried alternative practitioners, ministers, medical experts, psychiatrists, chiropractors, all kinds of people they tried. They traveled to Europe, South America, Canada, Philippines, Mexico to find someone who could help. The diagnosis was of lymphoma, leukemia, and schizophrenia. But they were bandied about and quickly discarded. At one point when she was 15, she was on her deathbed and then came out of a coma talking about her near-death experience, where Jesus told her that she had to go back to earth to complete her mission. Polio virus into the kidneys of rhesus monkeys. Once the kidneys were inflamed, the pus was extracted to become the basis for the vaccine. In the process of this extraction, many viruses that had never been in human beings before were extracted as well and never removed. Retroviruses as well as the simian 40 virus, a deadly virus that causes brain tumors, were identified many years after the polio vaccine had been injected into millions of people. Even today it remains in the vaccine supply. This really shook my parents. My mom cried, and my dad got mad at God for years. I had just learned about Jesus healing people in the Bible study at school, like in Matthew 9:23, when Jesus came into the ruler's house and saw the flute players and the noisy crowd wailing. He said to them, "Make room, for the girl is not dead, but sleeping." And they ridiculed him. But when the crowd was put outside, he went in and took her by the hand, and the girl arose. He brought her back to life. John 4:46. So Jesus came again to Cana of Galilee, where he had made the water wine. And there was a certain nobleman, whose son was sick at Capernaum. When he heard that Jesus had come out of Judea into Galilee, he went to him and implored him to come down and heal his son, for he was at the point of death. Then Jesus said to him, "Unless you people see signs and wonders, you will by no means believe." The nobleman said to him, "Sir, come down before my child dies." So Jesus said to him, "Go your way, your son lives." So the man believed the word that Jesus spoke to him, and he went his way. And as he was now going down, his servant met him and told him, saying, "Your son lives." Then he inquired of them the hour when he got better, and they said to him, "Yesterday at the 7th hour the fever left him." So the father knew that it was at the same hour in which Jesus said to him, "Your son lives," and he himself believed, and his whole household. This man had a lot of faith, more faith than the Pharisees and many others. So I prayed for my sister every night. She did not come back to life, but I would dream many nights that I was playing with her in paradise, and she was so happy. And I could share this with my mom, and it helped her. Before she died, she suffered a lot. She was on drugs, in the hospital, always tired, always had to have new blood transfusions. And my mom used to bring a baby sleeping cot around for her so she could sleep whenever she needed to. That year was hell for my family. Luckily, 2 years later, my youngest sister was born. Unplanned, but such a joy to all of us. A true gift from God. Okay, this is like my childhood. Next week I would like to share about my youth, like hell on earth, and the importance of abstinence.